All right, question 12. We're given a function and then all of these questions that are going to walk us through asymptotes and intercepts. So first thing, we have a graph. And the first two are pretty easy. What's the degree of the numerator, degree of the denominator? So how many x's are on the top? How many are on the bottom? And I purposely didn't write that. It's 2. So degree 2 on the numerator. And then how many x's on the bottom? 2. There's 2 x's. So that helps us with part C. We need to know that before we can do the asymptote. They're the same. So when they're the same, we take the coefficients. So this is 1 x squared. And then if I were to multiply this out, I'm not going to multiply the whole thing, but my first term would also be 1x squared. So my asymptote is these numbers in the front. These are called the leading coefficients. If I make that into a fraction, it's 1 over 1, or just 1, right? 1 over 1 is 1. That's our horizontal asymptote, and you can kind of see it on the graph. Y equals 1. Okay, next one is enter the equations of the vertical asymptotes and separate multiple equations with a comma. So I can see them here on my graph. There's 2 of them. But to do this algebraically, I take my denominator, so x plus 3, x minus 6, and I set it equal to 0 and solve each one. So say you're looking at a graph and you're like, I can't tell what that is. Well, that's -3. Oops. That's kind of hard to read. -3 when I solve that, and then +6. Those are those lines. X equals -3, x equals +6. And you're going to write those separate. So -3, comma, x equals 6. And our last ones are, can you find the y-intercept and x-intercept? And it's on the graph. So if you look at the y-axis, where do we cross it? Right here. If you look at the x-axis, where do we cross it? Right there as well. And so that point is 0, 0. If you want to find it algebraically, you would set the numerator equal to 0 and then solve. So 0, 0, and 0, 0. Okay, that's it for that one. But let's type it in and make sure that we got it all right. So 2, 2, y equals 1, x equals -3, x equals 6, 0, 0, 0, 0.